Welcome to Fwea-Go Logic, man. Express your creative intellect.
Yo, what they do, good people? You already know Fwea-Go Jet on the check-in, man. I appreciate y'all tapping into another episode of Fwea-Go Logic. Big shout out to Stay True. You already know what it is. Stay True 3291.com. Go ahead, shop that merch. Big shout out to Touch Money, the label. You feel me? Shout out to Major Nine and the whole count. But once again, I appreciate y'all tapping into another episode of Fwea-Go Logic. Today I kind of want to talk about one of the things that actually made me kind of want to transition over to Logic from GarageBand. So it was a feature I seen somebody use, like they was color coordinating their tracks, like on some organization type shit. You feel me? So when it comes to this, it be a lot going on, especially like when somebody sings some stems for a project and you kind of want to stay organized with the drums, the melodies, the bass lines, the just everything. You feel me? So one thing I seen somebody do on Logic was color coordinate their tracks, and that's one thing I could not do on GarageBand. I was on GarageBand for a whole year before I transitioned. Like, people would look at my screen and be like, bro, why you on GarageBand? Hop on Logic. And I'd be like, nah, bro, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Bro, it's not the same thing. I can attest to you that it is not the same thing. Like, GarageBand is cool to start off, but the way I like to describe it to people is GarageBand is like getting a brand new iPhone with no apps. Like, you ain't got no Wi-Fi. You can't download nothing new. It's everything straight stock. You feel me? Whereas Logic is like GarageBand times 10. Like, iPhone unlocked. You got everything you need. Unlimited storage. Like, that's the best way I could compare. Like, it's similar in visual, kinda, but then the ability of what you can do on Logic is so much more than GarageBand. So one thing I wanted to do was color coordinate my tracks, and that was not a feature on GarageBand. Or if it is, I ain't know how to access that, but I searched up and down and I ain't seen no way to do that. Whereas on Logic, the shortcut to do it is, I believe it's Control C. Hold on. Is it Control or Command? Let me see. I mean Option. Yes. Yeah, my bad. Option C. So if you want to color coordinate anything, whether it's your clips or the actual track, the shortcut to do it is Option C, or you could click this right here. Right, if you look up here at the top right, top left, at your toolbar, you can hit the shortcut, or you just click the button and you'll see a drop down. And if you scroll all the way over here to the right, you'll see something that say colors. And then I'll pull up your color palette, and whatever's highlighted, you could go ahead and like color coordinate accordingly. You feel me? So you see this track just changed colors right here. All my tracks muted, so what I'll do, I'll start by unmuting, and let's see what the melody sound like. So we got that right. That's our melody. Then let's see. It's a little vocal chop that we got right here. Shout out to Funk Master Flex. So we got a melody. We got some vocals. Let's get a percussion in there. We got a little butt clap. And then, if y'all seen my other video, as I explained before, this is my go-to template. So shout out to my boy DJ Addy once again. So we got some kicks. So let's say I want the melody to be green. Go ahead, hit Option C. Make sure I got the clip highlighted. Hit Option C and then click on one of the greens. And whichever one you like, go ahead, stick with it. You close that out. And then we got this little gold color right here for the go loop. Let's say I want the clap to be, I don't know, purple. I'll go ahead, hit Option C, and click on perk. Close that out. And then for the kick, let's go ahead, hit Option C once again. And let's go, I don't know, light blue, I guess. Teal, whatever you want to call it. So that's kind of how you color coordinate your tracks on Logic. That's one form of organization that's extremely important if you want to just kind of like have a quick visual. And even if you open up the mixer, you can see like these are your different tracks or whatnot, right? So you see how these tracks down here are blue. You could also go ahead and color coordinate those. So you see how I got this track highlighted, goddamn, and I could click around and it'll change the color of the track that's currently highlighted. So again, I don't want to confuse y'all because we got the regions and we actually got the tracks. So the regions are like your audio clips, and then the tracks are like where the clips are loaded up at. So if you want, you could actually, personally what I do, I color coordinate my tracks the same color as the region. It just makes everything more helpful. But yeah, that's one way to organize your tracks. Another way, me personally, I like summon stacks. I feel like I should say that for another video, but I mean, while we here, I'll do a brief overview of what that is. So a sum, usually within a sum, is like, what's the best way I can explain it? Personally, the way I group my sums is I'll have all my drums together, all my vocals together, all the melodies together. Like the bass lines would be in a sum, so on and so forth. So like if I want to individually hear like certain sounds, like it's easier to mute and unmute or hear specific sounds individually instead of having to physically solo or mute every individual track. So what I mean by that is, let's say, what we got? So let's say I wanted to hear the clap and the Jersey kick, right? So you see I had to like solo both of those to hear those, or I would have had to like mute these to hear those separately. Instead of doing that individually, what I could do is select both of these tracks. And again, the way you select is shift click. And then what you want to do is create what's called a summon stack. Now, I know the shortcut is Command Shift D. Is it under track? If y'all see it, let me know. Create track stack. So y'all see what I did? Let me close out. So what I did was I went to the header, track, drop down over to create track stack. And once again, the shortcut for that is Command Shift D. So Command Shift D. And this is what pops up. So you got what's called a folder stack, and a summon stack, right? So basically the folder stack, okay, let me not confuse y'all. So I'll start off with the summon stack. So basically, like I said, the summon stack allows you to add whatever tracks you want within this group, this subgroup of tracks, and you can manipulate these tracks. You can manipulate the plugins, you can manipulate the volume individually, right? Whereas the folder stack is kind of just like a placeholder for the tracks. I hope that makes sense. So once again, I'm gonna do an example of what I mean. So right now, I wanted to talk about summon stack. So we're gonna start with a summon stack, and we're gonna create that, right? So once again, we just created like a subgroup, and I'm gonna just call this clap kick, right? So at least I know this is the clap and the kick. And then I could always like fold the summon stack to like just keep things visually clean, I guess. I mean, granted, it's only a couple tracks on here right now, but sometimes you might be working with projects that got about 50 tracks on there, and it'd be a lot to keep scrolling through all 50 tracks. So that's where summon stacks kind of come through. And again, you see right here, I got the volume. So if I play, I can edit the volume of both tracks at the same time without actually manipulating the physical volumes of the track, right? So y'all see like the volume on the actual tracks are still up, but I was able to control both of these because they're under this group, some call what I call a clap kick, right? Because it's a clap and a kick. I could change the pan of these as well. Let me move this over. So yeah, I could like pan them. I should probably just make a couple more instead of, or I could just a little bit. Right, I could pan both to the left, pan both to the right, and again, I don't have to individually manipulate these tracks. So summon stacks are, personally, it's kind of one of my best friends on Logic. Like it's real handy. Once again, like I work on a lot of remixes and projects that be having like 40 to 50 tracks on average. So sometimes it could be a lot. Like it could be a lot to manage a bunch of shit at the same time. So I highly recommend summon stacks. I don't really use the folders. Personally, I just like the summon stacks because you can actually manipulate the stuff. But I mean, I'll show y'all what the folder do. So let's say I wanted to put the sound file hop loop. So again, I'll mute this stack. So you see these tracks still on, but you won't hear nothing. Because again, these are within this sum. So I'll let y'all hear the sound file hop loop with this melody, right? So if I put these in a folder, again, Command Shift D to pull it up, or once again, if you don't want to use the shortcut, go up the track, hit the drop down, go over to create track stack, click that, and then again, we said we're gonna try the folder. So again, and it gives, I love Logic because you get like very simplified explanations on anything you really want on here. So this says a basic track stack that lets you mute, solo, and control volume from the main track, right? Whereas the summon stack is a multi-purpose track stack that mixes subtracks and can be saved as a patch. This type can also record and playback MIDI or remote control recording on audio only subtracks. Select this option to both organize and submix your tracks, right? So you definitely have more flexibility with your summon stacks. So I'm gonna show y'all what the folder look like. So again, with the folder, you see I don't have no pans. I don't have, if you look over here at the channel strip, I can't add any plugins or any EQ. Like I can't add nothing, no sends. All this allows you to do is mute, solo, and edit the volume of the folder. Okay, so I'm gonna drag this down closer to, I'm just rename this melody plus kick. Was that a kick? Oh, sound file hop. Yeah, I'll just put sound file kick. So again, the melody plus sound file kick is different from the clap kick. So the melody sound file is a folder, whereas the clap kick right here is a summon stack. So folder stack, summon stack. You see the difference already, like as I'm clicking between the two? So with this one, this is just a folder. The folder just kind of like has the tracks within it, but again, you can't like manipulate the whole folder with any additional features or anything. All you can do is mute, solo, and edit the fader volume, the volume fader. Whereas with the summon stack, you see we have the option to add EQs. We could add audio effects. We could add sends or whatever. So I'm gonna show y'all what I mean by that. So with our clap kick, I'm gonna add a reverb, right? So I can add a reverb over the whole. My bad, the reverb already loaded right here. So I'm gonna turn up the send. So hopefully y'all could hear the difference. Now personally, this is not something I would do on this. This is me just showing y'all the example. But just showing y'all that I can affect multiple tracks just by editing this summon stack. The folder stack does not let you do that, as you can see right here. And if you don't see this window, once again, this is the inspector window. So just hit the little eye in the circle to pop that up. Me personally, I love having the inspector window up because it gives you like a nice consolidated visual of what you're working with on the track. But yeah, so I don't want to go too deep. I kind of just wanted just to show y'all like how to color coordinate y'all tracks, as well as how to create summon stacks to organize your files. Again, personally, I don't really use folders. It's just me. Like, I haven't really had no real use to only use the folders. I prefer the summon stacks because it gives you everything within the folder stack, but more flexibility to work with on the tracks. And sometimes I might want to add a compressor on the sum of all the tracks that's within the. I might want to add a EQ to, let's say I might have a sum of like vocals, and I want to chop off some of the frequencies in the vocals that's lined up in that sum. So obviously the folder stack doesn't allow for that. So again, me personally, I love the summon stacks. This is a feature I do use frequently. I do want to mention that. But yeah, I'm finna end this video because I feel like it did get a little lengthy, and I did talk about two topics, kinda. So if I do need to break it down again, I'll make separate videos on each of these. But hopefully that was clear enough. If you do need to color coordinate your tracks, again, you can click the toolbar drop down right here, and then you can go scroll all the way to the right and click on colors to open up your color palette, and make sure whatever you have highlighted, that's what will change when you click on a different color. Or once again, I work with a lot of shortcuts. So again, the shortcut to pull up your color palette is Option C. And again, to create a sum stack, to create your summon stack, go to track, go down and click create track stack, and that will pop up with this dialog. Again, I don't usually do all that. I just click Command Shift D, and then it'll create my stack. And again, to do that, you want to make sure you have the certain tracks that you want stacked. I ain't gonna let it, that shit a tongue twister low key. But highlight the tracks that you want to stack within the summon stack folder, and then hit Command Shift D. So when you hit summon stack and you hit create, those highlighted tracks will already be within your sum right here. Alright, I do hope that was clear. More than likely, I'm gonna go over this again sometime. But yeah, you already know it's your boy Fwea-Go just tapping in. I appreciate y'all tapping in to another episode of Fwea-Go Logic. I am tongue tied today. Tired and tongue tied. But now y'all be blessed. You know, I fuck with y'all the long way. You feel me? Y'all tap in.
But again, stay up, stay blessed, and keep creating. How?